let's cut the flirty chit-chat and get down to business. I need an experienced tail gunner. Jump in and grab the gun. We've got a bird to take down.
That's not flirty chit-chat?
Alright, a turret sequence right at the end. Fantastic. Wait. Also, I love the interactions between the characters I get. Have I not seen anyone stream it? I've seen bits and pieces of people streaming it. Of streamer friendos of mine. I certainly have. Biggest case probably being seen. Oh, Bearded, play it! Dang it, it hit me. What do you mean nice shooting? That hit us. That actually hit us though. Thank goodness that turret sections were not brought back in Slide 3 because, my goodness. People really didn't like the turret sections in Slide 2, and I understand why. Which is why they removed them for Slide 3. Your kids are having fun watching it? Oh, watching as you play there? Nice. Yeah, one day I may wind up giving it a try. I've heard good things about it. I definitely have. Wait, missile! Wait. Oh, that is a reference to Sly 1. That is a reference to the Sly 1 boss fight, those rings there. And I remember those always used to mess me up the first time. I didn't know that you had to shoot them once just so the electricity changes to the outside so it doesn't hit you. Like, that took me way too long to figure out back in the day. It took me way too long. Oh, ring. I have to be careful not to keep shooting because otherwise the electricity changes back to the inside. I've made that mistake too many times. Like if I accidentally hit the edge here of one. Like that! That is why you want to be careful when shooting around those ring things, because that will happen. And it will happen often whenever you keep shooting while the rings are out. So I usually wait until they're past for me to keep shooting again. Because, yeah, that's a... because that's... Yeah, I'm not even going to bother shooting her here. Because... yeah, I'll accidentally hit the freaking ring again. Wah! Wah! Like, I'm not gonna shoot here because I'll accidentally hit the ring. No way, Jose. Look at that, I'm just rapidly changing it back and forth. Uh-oh. Wah! Okay. What the heck was that? How was I supposed to prevent that? What even hit me? Why is my nose still itchy? Wah! What the heck? I don't know what that blast was or what I was supposed to do about it. Okay, cool. Yeah, those rings plus the missiles do make things a little bit sketchy here. Whoa. Looking cool, Joe. Oh, dang it. No! I thought the ring was like the opposite of what it was. Oh my goodness, thank you.
That was some terrific shooting.
Sly, we've got a serious problem here. Clockwerk is looking mighty upset, and I think she's going to take it out on us.
I'm coming, guys. Hold on.
This is a very cool way to do a finale to a game because this is like the worst case scenario coming true. Also, I fail at this way more than you're supposed to. Like, this section here is supposed to be not that bad, but I fail at it a lot. And I mean a lot. So, hopefully I don't ruin the moment by failing here. I mean, I'm already ruining the moment by talking about it in this manner, but, you know. But honestly, this is like one of the coolest and most epic ways to do a game finale. I usually miss this jump if it's one that I mess up. Thank goodness. If I land on the lower section of that by accident, then I'm usually screwed from there. Okay, where do I jump from here? That one, I think? Thank goodness for the glider. One of the best additions to this game. Now this one likes to be a bit weird sometimes. Oh, am I gonna get it first try? All I know is last time I did this, I failed a whole bunch. Okay, sweet.
You want a piece of me? Don't worry, there's plenty to go around.
You might have a new body, Mila, but you're still the low-down, backstabbing coward we've beaten time and time again. This won't be any different.
Be brave while you can, Cooper. I might not have immortality born of pure hate, but I feel something. Some power growing within me.
So that line there kind of hints that, you know, the actual Clockwerk might be coming out. That it might not be, you know, what Neela we're talking to anymore. How the heck do I... Freaking... Hit the head! Poke it! Poke it real good. Yeah, that's creepy looking, that eye there. The deteriorated eye. Freaking... Poke! Yeah, that's creepy. I'll even turn on my camera, because I know it's blocking it.
We did it.
Right on!
It's an emotional moment.
Die, insects, die! My hate will smash you.
Watch out. That thing's still kicking.
Lachlan mentioned something about a hate chip. It sounded like the source of her power.
If we remove it, she might stop attacking.
Then let's do a little open-head surgery. I'll pry open that beak so that Bentley can go to town with his bombs.
Alright, so this is a little bit of a creepy scene. Who knows why there's lasers here, but there are. So, you know, time for mashing. Time to be like a Yoshi mate and mash buttons. Cool. Wait, did I fail? Oh, dang it, I thought it was over, so I hit my hotkeys to turn off my camera and chat. Dang it. I'm sorry. Open up.
I hate you, Cooper Gang. I will find you in your sleep and I will destroy you. You will never know a moment's peace for the rest of your short, miserable lives. The Clockwerk will know revenge. I am revenge. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Clockwerk.
You know what, I'll just leave the camera off. Let's go kill the creepy lady first. Is what we'll do. Oh my goodness, that... What did he get shocked by? Wait, is that not what I'm supposed to do right now? Wait a second. I can destroy the lasers? I thought I was supposed to hop in there. Oh, yeah.
My hate shit. You will not defeat me. Ever.
Let's get out of here. She's about to explode. Ah! My glasses.
What? Bentley, I'll save you.
Pick me up. I can't walk.
Come on, Sly, let's get out of here.
And there we were, at the end of the road. The Claw Gang had been defeated, and the Clockwerk parts lay scattered around in heaps. Yet, despite the explosion, they remained pristine. It was as if nothing could ever hurt them. Carmelita cursed herself for showing up too late to get a few shots in on Clockla. So she took it out on what was close at hand, the hate chip. And just like that, it was over. Without that core piece, that essential center of Clockwerk, there was nothing left. The parts aged before our eyes as if time had finally caught up with the ancient bird. How ironic that Carmelita, a police officer, would be the one to lift the curse from the Cooper family. The menace of Clockwerk would never again rise to threaten me or my children. True to her nature, she informed us that we were all under arrest. But one look at my gang told me that we were in no shape for a fast getaway. So I offered to go peacefully in exchange for letting my friends walk. They'd taken some bruises through all of this, but I was surprised, shocked really, to see them leave their gear behind as they walked away. Their wounds were deeper than I'd imagined. Those guys were hurting. Carmelita's old police unit soon arrived. With me in custody, her name was cleared, and she even got a well-deserved promotion. It was the least I could do. The ride to HQ started with us sitting in silence, trying to read each other's thoughts. As the reality of my capture started to sink in, she began to relax, and we got to talking. We spoke freely about our previous adventures, comparing notes and even getting in a few laughs. Then we started talking about, well, everything. Books, music, art. It was like we were on a first date. She even showed me the bottle she'd been saving for the special occasion of my arrest. My heart sank when she realized that our short flight across town had already taken 2 hours, a fact I kinda clued into after seeing the Eiffel Tower float by 17 times. She went forward to ask the pilot what was up, and it looked like my pals had left me a little going-away present before taking off. Floating away on the night breeze, I could faintly make out Carmelita's voice.
I'll find you, Cooper! I'll be seeing you soon, Ringtail.
So that was slide 2. There's probably still a little bit during the credits here, I believe, of some minor cutscenes as well. Maybe? It might be coming up here. But anyway, so yeah, we finished it in one sitting over the course of 11.5 hours. What a day this has been. What a wacky day indeed, let me tell you. Well, honestly, this is one of my favorite, I was about to say movie trilogies. This is my favorite game trilogy there is. I like these scenes here. Yeah, Kevin Miller does such a good job. In fact, all 3 of the main characters there do such good jobs of their characters. Like, I wasn't super fond of Carmelita / Neela's voice actor. Her eyes look so weird there. But I feel like in the 3rd game, they finally nailed her voice actor. She has a different voice actor in all 3 games, and I feel like Inspector Carmelita Fox continues to search for Sly Cooper. His current whereabouts are still unknown. She has a different voice actor in all 3 games, and I feel like the 3rd one is where they finally nail it. Dimitri went on to work as a dance instructor on a cruise ship. Of course he would. Of course he would do so. Rajan now owns a series of rug outlets across North America. I love the joke endings they made for all the villains here. Contessa went on to become the most successful real estate broker in the greater Milwaukee area. They must have had so much fun with these joke endings. Jean said one to work on for the EPA. I think that one's probably my favorite. And ended up frozen yet again on a rescue mission saving baby penguins. I think that's probably my favorite out of them all. Honestly. And there's no arpeggio because he died in a kid's game, but you know. You know. Anyway, yeah, this is honestly my favorite game trilogy there is. If I had to have, okay, that's it. You've seen everything. You won. Go outside. Yeah, I've been here for 11.5 hours now, streaming in one sitting. So, you know. You've seen everything. Go outside. Alright. Yeah, honestly, this is my favorite game trilogy. If I had to pick my favorite pair of games ever, it would be Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Like, in terms of telling a story altogether, that is. But favorite game trilogy? That'd be the Slide trilogy. For sure. It does, oh yeah, that's just to rewatch the cutscene there. What if you don't want to go outside? Yeah, I probably don't right now, considering it's completely dark out. And I should probably find some food there. So, how I managed, you know, keeping myself, you know, happy and healthy throughout this stream here was before the stream started. I woke up like an hour before the stream started, and I knew this was gonna be a long stream to beat this in one sitting. So I woke up an hour before it started. I had a bowl of cereal. There wasn't a lot of milk, so I wound up having Raisin Bran with like the tiniest little puddle of milk when it was like, oh crap. So I didn't have a whole lot there. But yesterday, at a restaurant, I had some pizza and there was some leftover of it in my juice fridge here. So during the longer cutscenes, typically at the end of episodes, so at an end of episode, there would be the cutscene that ends the episode, and then we'd watch the cutscene introducing the next episode, so it'd be quite a bit of cutscenes. During most of those, well not most of those, but during most of the latter ones, I would eat another slice of pizza for my leftovers here. And it's empty now. It's just an empty box now to keep myself, you know, actually fed during this stream that has been nearly 12 hours long now. So that was how I managed that without breaking the flow of the game, was I did it during cutscenes. So I doubt anybody even realized that I was eating pizza during this playthrough. Fantastically enough. Yeah, there's that. Usually at the end of games, I give my kind of review of them. So, I don't know, let's give my review of this game, I guess. Gameplay, freaking fantastic in most cases. Like, it has some flaws here and there. Like, certain missions are kind of and certain mini games that are here and there, like the turret ones, are like, is it really necessary? Did that really need to happen? When it comes to gameplay, some of the world areas are freaking convoluted as hell. Like, the third world there, for example, the jungle one with Rajan, it freaking is so easy to get lost. Like, the only reason I didn't get lost more than I did, I only got slightly lost. The only reason I didn't get majorly lost is because I've done this so many times over by now. So I, like, know the areas decently well. Like, as I got lost in the final section there. But some of the areas are so convoluted and so hard to even find the missions. It's like, what the heck? Luckily, that's something that Sly 3 fixed, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, and you didn't realize, Lyrical, I'd have sneaky Harmony eating that pizza. Yeah, I only had 2 slices in here. So it was only during, like, episode 7 to 8 transition and episode 6 to 7 transition that I had a slice of pizza. during those transition times, since it was an extended bit there. But also in terms of the gameplay, I love how there's 3 characters to choose from. I like how they actually really flushed out the gameplay. Sly 1 was like, they were just trying out making a new platformer, where it's like, simply you get hit once, you die unless you have a lucky horseshoe. You can only play as Sly. Enemies die in 1 shot, you die in 1 shot unless you have a horseshoe. It's like, eh. But in this game, actually having a health bar and having 3 playable characters that actually are all fun to play, unlike some games where they have different characters to play, and it's like, oh, these ones are fun, but these ones are just crap. This one that genuinely has 3 different ones that are all genuinely fun to play as is great. I love that. I love the different, like, unique things about each of the characters. Do I have anything else to talk about for the gameplay there? I like all the gadgets that you can have. Also, the paraglider was like one of the best additions. So yeah, the gameplay is here and there, but overall, awesome platformer. Overall, an incredible platformer game. But yeah, or like DBD that have a lot of reskins. Yeah, where they all play the same, but they're just reskins of one another with the survivors. Oh my. Alright, what else? Music. I usually talk about music in games. The soundtrack here isn't anything super crazy in terms of like stuff that I jam out to on my own time, stuff like that, stuff where I pop in my headphones while I'm on the train and like listen to it. Like in terms of like stuff that I jam out to, most of it is just kind of like par fitting what it has to, but the sound design that they do with it is very, very well done. Like the direction they wanted to take the music, for example, was they actually hide Sly's theme within a lot of the other themes of the game to make, like, for example, the Clockwerk Assembly, or Paris Overworld, or the freaking dancing scene. Those are all examples, among many others, where Sly's theme is hidden inside those themes, which is really fitting with, you know, it being like Sly's, you know, hiding and sneaking around in those themes of music. It's both symbolic and just, you know, brilliant musically. So, like, I don't think it's a soundtrack that I'd be listening to a ton, like, on my own time. It's nothing that's, like, crazy jammers or anything like that. But in terms of sound design and the strategies they use towards a soundtrack, it's brilliant, quite frankly. It's really cool like that. The story is hella dark. Like, if I was a kid, I would probably be complaining about this story because I took several extended breaks along the way when I was a kid playing these games. Like, I beat the second world, for example, and then once you got to the third one, like, just look at that there. And imagine me playing my very first ever home console video game, Sly 2, and seeing that as a freaking small child, and it's like, oh, what game am I playing now? What is this? So there were, like, with how dark the game gets, there were some times as a kid I had to take extended breaks like that. But, you know, as basically an adult looking at it nowadays, it's like, wow, this is really, really cool. I may not have liked how dark it got as a kid. Was I afraid? Yes, I was. That freaked me out, and Clockwerk freaked me out too. Like, let's face it, Clockwerk's creepy. Clockwerk's creepy as hell. That thing used to give me nightmares. So I might not have been fond of the darkness as a kid there. But looking at it as an adult now, it's like, wow. Having a game that's basically like marketed towards kids, a game that's playable by like any age, but having that dark of a story all bundled in is really, really cool actually. And I really like seeing how the story develops across the trilogy. Like, it does a very good job of having first game as a beginning, second game as a middle, and third game as an end, and like a finale to see off the series, because Sucker Punch did intend the third one to be like seeing off Sly and them being done with the IP from there, essentially. And the story of Sly 3 is very much portrayed by that. Like, the Clockwerk story is over. Sly 1 and 2 followed like the kind of Clockwerk story. Sly 3 doesn't follow that at all. So Sly 3 is its own, separate from Clockwerk story. But in terms of the characters developing, it follows across all three games there, and I find that really, really fascinating. And Sly 2 ends with like notes to bring up at the beginning of Sly 3. Like, for example, one of the things that's brought up in the beginning of Sly 3 is Murray feeling a lot of guilt for what happened to Bentley and blaming himself and feeling like he's useless to the team and stuff like that now that Bentley has lost the use of his legs. Bentley has to cope through Sly 3 with being in a wheelchair now that he's lost the use of his legs due to Clockwerk there, or Clockla, I should say. And it's just really cool seeing how the characters develop across the whole thing. And Sly, his main character arc is basically coping with like how he deals with his friends and his family here, like whether he's looking out too much for himself and trying to pursue his own family legacy and not focusing enough on like his friends around him and what they mean to him. So like all three of the characters have some interesting progression that they go throughout the trilogy, and the third one especially, like the third one is all about its characters. Like, it is a completely character-based story in Sly 3, and I really like that. I look forward to getting into it 1 year from today, as I promise I will. We'll have this as a tradition now, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's basically my review of this, I guess. My favorite out of all three Sly games has got to be Sly 3, I'd say. Second favorite, Sly 2. Least favorite, Sly 1. But I mean, they're all good in their own way. Alrighty, I'll check that out in a bit here, Lyrical, is what I'll do. But anyway, thanks all who stopped by and hung out for this birthday stream here. Funnest episode out of all three games or in this game? If I look through this one here and think about it. I mean, the one that was probably the most fun to me was probably episode 1 in this game. Like, I love Dimitri so much. Like, his nightclub theme is such a jammer. He as a character is really well done. I love his voice acting. His voice actor actually, English is not his first language. He actually learned English by watching music videos, and it shows through his voice acting there, which I think is awesome. I mean, to be fair, he did voice some other characters. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he might have also voiced Jean Bisson as well. But like, Dimitri is the, like, I don't remember what other characters he voiced. He might have voiced another character from this game. It might have been Jean Bisson, I don't remember. He might have voiced some other ones in Sly 3 as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he voiced LaFouille in Sly 3, the freaking pirate antagonist. But anyway, when his role as Dimitri, he gets to really flair himself, and I love the lines that he does and the sounds that he makes, and it makes me really happy that, slight spoiler I guess, that he's one of the characters who returns in Sly 3. That makes me very happy to see him there, because he's awesome. But yeah, sorry you had to blackmail your teacher some more. Oh? That doesn't sound good. But yeah, in this game, when it comes to like the funnest episode, probably episode 1, honestly. That might be it. If I have a favorite episode in terms of story, I don't know, maybe 8, maybe 4. 4 was actually really well done, especially at the end, where, like, in the cutscene after Sly and Murray are freed and Bentley was responsible for freeing them, it's really cool how it doesn't, like, focus on the main story during those cutscenes. Like, it doesn't talk about the Clockwerk parts, it doesn't talk about what happened to Contessa, any of that. It just focuses on the characters being reunited and, you know, having a good time and stuff like that, and just the merriment of them being reunited and how important they are to each other. The Contessa isn't mentioned, the Clockwerk parts are not mentioned, Like, it's a really cool way to finish off that episode. Not only is it the middle point of this game, but it's the middle point of the series itself. Of the trilogy itself, I should say. We're not talking about Sly 4. So it's a really cool way to do, like, the smack dab in the middle point of the series. I think it's... Oh, why is my nose so itchy there? Man, that's the thing. It's very good for you. Alrighty, I believe you there. In terms of the whole series for a favorite episode, like, I'm thinking about Sly 3. There were some really good ones in there. Like, the final one of Sly 3 was really good. But that was also just because it was, like, the finale to the series itself. So if I take that bias away. I don't know, the second last one in Sly 3 is also really, really fun. It's a pirate-based one. Like, in Sly 1 and 2, all the villains have connections with one another. No spoilers. Okay, it's nothing major. Just talk about, like, the area itself. Just some, sorry, my nose. Just minor stuff. She does your chores? Nice. But just some minor stuff there. Still shook that you didn't know there was a third game? Alright, I'm gonna have to tell you about it later. But anyway, in the first and second game, all of the villains have connections with one another. Like, they're all, like, in the same group. Like, in the first game, it was the Fiendish Five. In the second game, it was the Claw Gang. But in the third game, all the villains have no connections with each other, which means that the developers were able to get really creative with their areas and stuff like that. And since it was meant to be the finale of the series and the story is designed that way, they very much had a lot of fun with making some areas. So the second last one there, that might be one of my favorites, is pirate themed, which I think is really, really cool, and it was really fun. So in terms of most fun, like, maybe Sly 3, the second last one, the pirate one, that one's really, really good. It's so much fun. Like, the developers were pretty much like, alright, the villains have no connection with each other, so we can get crazy. What's something that we want to do sometime in this trilogy that we didn't get the chance to yet? Let's do a pirate theme. Yeah, it's a really fun one. I very much enjoy that area there. But yeah, all the villains have no connections with each other, so the devs are able to get very diverse in terms of, you know, the areas that they go to and stuff like that. So maybe the pirate one might be my favorite, because that one's really fun. I look forward to getting into that next year when I stream Sly 3. I look forward to that there. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I think I've been streaming, if you include the intro, for like 3 minutes away from 12 hours now. So yeah, there's basically my full review of Sly 2, I suppose. I adore this game. I adore the trilogy even more. Like, it's one of those, like I said, it's one of those things that just perfectly illustrates the idea of, like, a beginning, a middle, and an end across Sly 1, Sly 2, and Sly 3. It's very well done. And then Sanzaru Games got the rights to Sly Cooper and made a Sly 4 that was like, remember the ending of Sly 3? Let's just undo all of it and then have, like, zero or terrible character development and write a story that ends with a cliffhanger, even though we weren't planning on making any more games after that. And it's just a terrible story experience overall, and I never want to play that. As far as I'm concerned, there's only the 3 games. I'm gonna wrap things up here. I'm gonna stream for 12 hours. Thanks everybody who stopped by and hung out for this another Sly yearly birthday stream. I'll do Sly 3 next year, so I'll be turning 22 then, I guess. 1 year away. And the amount of stuff that people did this stream from the... thanks, Aniki. I appreciate it. Like, the amount of stuff that people did this stream for that was absolutely insane. Like, all that art that people threw together was freaking breathtaking. It was the first time in my over 2 years of streaming that you guys got me to cry on stream. It was ludicrous. But yeah, thank you guys. Like, I have a lot of thoughts to process after this stream with like how crazy generous people were. But for now, I'm gonna wrap things up. So I guess until next time then, see ya.